Self-Confident. Hey, how are you? It's Belen Diaz, and this is the E-volve show. And today we have with us a very inspiring, fun professional and an expert in self-confidence. And today we're gonna talk all about how to ask for your dream promotion, how to be better in an interview. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video. Welcome the impact guru, Esther Stanhope. This lady can seriously help you feel confident, turbocharge your career, and get promoted by maximizing your personal brand. Some fascinating facts: she's interviewed George Clooney, Madonna, and Sharon Stone. Hi, Esther, how are you?
Hello, Belen. It's so good to see you. I'm great. I'm in London and you're in Colorado in the US, and we're 7 hours apart. So I'm about to go and have a glass of Prosecco because it's nearly evening and you're just getting up having breakfast.
I'm just starting the day. So yeah, I've been like reading all the things on your website, and I love all you do. I love your vibe. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. And a little bit about my work is, well, like you, Belen, I am passionate about helping people get their voice heard, helping people find their inner confidence, find their voice, and market themselves and sell themselves and get promoted. And the reason why I'm so passionate about that is because even though you think, she's a professional speaker, she's a professional presenter, you know, she's got confidence. I haven't got inbuilt confidence, and I'm not confident all the time. And in the past, I haven't, and I've suffered from lack of confidence many, many times. And I know what it feels like to feel like, I think in the past, I felt like I wasn't good enough. And even though I've had a career in broadcasting, and my background's actually broadcasting, I've been a producer for many years. I was 10 years, I was a producer at the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. And when I started my career as an entertainment reporter, so I've interviewed Hollywood stars and celebrities like George Clooney, Madonna, Lenny Kravitz, Sharon Stone. I mean, I can name drop, okay? But you still think she doesn't lack confidence. But I have lacked confidence, and I was very happy not being in the spotlight. I was happy interviewing other people, making other people look good. And even as a producer at the BBC, I was always the one making everyone else brilliant. And I was really happy in the other side of the camera and the other side of the lens. And then when I set up my business to help people and to help women leaders in particular in business, people started asking me to speak in public and started asking me to make videos. And I know that you've got a bit of a video fear. So anyway, so I left the BBC to help people in business, to bring my broadcasting skills into business and into the boardroom, to help people walk the talk, to help people walk into that room and feel charismatic and own their space and not be afraid to think, I'm good at this. This is what I'm going to contribute. I'm going to get promoted because I know I can lead this team. This is what I'm worth. And funnily enough, guess who's better at doing that? Men or women? And I'm not against men or anything like that. I'm absolutely not against men. A lot of my clients are men, but I think for the purpose of your excellent show, and I'm so pleased to be supporting your E-volve show.
Thank you.
For the purpose of that, and we are focusing on women, and I can totally relate to what you wrote to me, Belen. Do you remember what you wrote to me?
Which part of the
you wrote about, I didn't feel confident.
I didn't feel confident about, like, in my businesses to ask for more money, for example.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I ask for more money, then clients are not gonna call me or things like that. So
yeah.
Like you hold yourself back instead of like shine yourself and ask for what you're worth.
And you've created this whole 21 days of self-confidence because somewhere along the line you lacked confidence there. But you found your confidence. So I'll be interested. I don't want to be interviewing you now, but I want to know how you found your confidence. And I'll share with you how I found my confidence.
Yeah, that's true. Like I did all of these series just because I was there, like the audience that are watching right now. Like I had a lack of confidence, and I feel like I was sharing in the first video too. Like if there was a networking event or something like that, I always felt I was confident because I'm like very outgoing and things like that. But then when I got there to a room full of people, I was like, oof, I don't want to talk with anybody. Like, I don't want people to come to talk to me. And then I was like, what's my deal? Like, what is this? So, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you just develop. I always say also experience brings confidence too.
absolutely. You've got to throw yourself into it. And people ask me sometimes, is it possible to fake it till you make it? Yes, it is. You've got to get out there and you've got to do it. You've got to try it. And sometimes you might fail. And the one thing we don't like to do is fail.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to young women and women that I've worked with, women in leadership positions, quite often women like to get it right and like to be perfect and don't want to make a mistake. They feel they have to do 10 out of 10 all the time. They've got to be 10 out of 10 perfect.
Yeah.
And actually, quite often, you're never going to get 10 out of 10. You're never going to be perfect. So one of my first message, my first tip today is something you can take away is every day say to yourself, I don't need to be perfect today. In fact, I'm going to do it and it's not going to be perfect. So I'm not going to be perfect today. Repeat after me. I'm
Okay.
not going to be perfect today.
I'm not going to be perfect today.
So I've got a little story actually about one of the moments where I lost my confidence, and one of the moments that kind of changed my life a little bit in terms of my perception of myself and my desires to get on in my career. And I had a bit of a wake up call moment. When I was at the BBC, I was very competent at producing, and I was looking after Hollywood stars, and Cliff Richard, the singer, would come in and I would look after the big name presenters, and I was trusted. And I was good at my job, and I was good at telling stories. I was good at quickly rustling up a script. I was good at holding up signs going, 10 more seconds, go, go, you know, you're brilliant, darling, you're wonderful.
Oh,
Where's my little powder? You know, I'd powder their nose. Oh, you look wonderful, darling. I do a bit myself. Um, and then I was asked to go for a more senior position. And I didn't really think about what I needed in terms of my toolkit, my personal toolkit, my personal development toolkit. I never thought about it. And I was probably in my late 20s,
uh-huh.
and maybe I was in my early 30s. And anyway, so I was asked to go for this interview. So I did the show in the morning. It was live, 6 till 9 breakfast show at the BBC, usual running around. I didn't concentrate or focus on myself. I just focused on my job, and I was very good at doing my job. So the interview was something like 10 o'clock, and I came off air at 9 o'clock. Probably went to the meeting, probably did my usual thing. And then maybe at 9:45, I might have thought, oh, got the interview, quickly going to the toilet, do the makeup, go out and stand outside the room. And I went into the room and I got into the interview. And at the BBC, it was quite formal. It's much more like a city firm, actually, the way that they interview. I didn't realize my boss would be there, his boss would be there, his boss would be there, the human resources lady would be there, the assistant would be there, there were about 7 people in a line with notes, and they were going to take down and write notes about my performance in the interview. And I sat down like a little lamb to the slaughter. And I looked at these 7 people in front of me, and this very confident producer that had just been looking after Hollywood stars half an hour ago suddenly shrank into a little, I couldn't speak. I lost my confidence.
Wow.
I lost the ability to breathe properly. I sweated, started shaking. I forgot how to speak English, and that's my first language. My mind went blank. And I think my boss was sitting there thinking,
What's going on?
who is this? Where is she? Where's Esther gone? Where's the competent, clever, outgoing, creative? Where's this person? And that person was standing outside the door. That person was not in that room. That person had gone and left my body. And I didn't know, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I didn't own my space.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't centered. I didn't realize what I was, who I was, what I represented, what my value was.
Yeah.
And that really taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson, which was, if you want to get on in the world and you're ambitious and you want to do well and succeed, that's fine. That's great. You have to work on that. You know, self-development doesn't just develop without you checking in on it. So if you want to be good at anything, if you want to learn to drive, you go for lessons. If you want to be fit, you probably get a personal trainer. If you want to do something, you get help and you do it and you focus on it. And something like personal development, which is what this is about, your confidence conference, your
Yeah.
online event, it's about checking in on yourself. It's about looking at what can you do to develop yourself. And actually, there's lots of layers of things that you can do, lots.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized then that I had to start spending some time on myself. But it still took me a long time to actually get proper mentorship and proper I've actually, you know, when I started my business, when I left the BBC, I actually got a structured business coach. So, and I had she's amazing, she's based in Canada, Kim Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I had Kim Duke for 5 years. It started as a 5-month program and I ended up working with her for 5 years. But if it wasn't for Kim, you know, I wouldn't have set up my business. I wouldn't have written my book. She encouraged me to write my book. So what I learned there was, you can't do everything all by yourself. So you need people around you, friends, like-minded people, colleagues, people that you can trust, people that are going to boost you. And maybe it's not a paying relationship. It's not necessarily a formal coaching relationship,
Yeah.
but get
Mentally. Mm-hmm.
help. And
Totally.
that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, like it's a common theme in this series. It's like, just don't do it by yourself. Like there is no, like, I mean, you can spend a lot of time trying to do it by yourself, but it's much easier nowadays to reach to somebody like Esther that can help you out, and it
Yeah.
will like makes you like move forward faster and with a structure, and you're not gonna feel alone. Or like when you're doing something by yourself, you must like you probably are like, oh, I don't want to do it today, you know. So
Yeah.
you have that ability with somebody who is there to support you.
Yeah, and actually just having something to work alongside, some kind of workbook, some kind of structured program, some book, something just to keep you going and that gives you tasks, is really helpful. And so my online program, How to Get Your Dream Promotion, that was inspired by people I work with in the city.
Mm.
All of the tips in there, and I'll share a few of them with you now if you like, but all the tips in there are from real life situations, real people, hundreds of people that I've worked with that struggled to get their promotions. They struggled to talk about themselves. They struggled. They felt that it was a show off. You know, I'm a show off. I'm a big head. I'm arrogant if I talk about myself well.
Yeah.
No, you're not arrogant. You know, you've got to learn to talk about yourself. And I've got really easy formulas that I'm going to be sharing in my program. I'm gonna give it as a competition. You can win it in a moment if you want. But being able to talk about yourself is a real asset to you. And going forward in your career, now is the time to start practicing being able to talk about yourself and own your space. So my first little tip is something that you can do now, and Bellen, I'm going to get you to do this now
Oh
too.
no.
Okay, so we're just going to spend a couple of minutes, right? And we're just going to talk about your USP, your unique selling point. What are you really, really good at? And another way to think about that question, so because people say to me quite often, like even my mum, who's 82, she said to me, I can't think of my USP. I haven't got a USP. I said, Mum, everybody has a USP. Don't worry, everybody has a USP. But just knowing what your USP is, your unique selling point, or as my coaches say, unique selling proposition. If you're in
Oh.
America, unique selling proposition, you might be familiar with that. But a lot of people, when I work with them, they go, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what it is. I'm not good at anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing that I'm going to get you to think about right now. What's your unique selling point? Another really an easier way to ask that question is, what do you think people say about you when you're not there? how do you think somebody might describe you? Somebody that knows you well, maybe a colleague, maybe a member of your family, somebody that you might have worked with closely, maybe your former boss or your boss. How would somebody describe you when you're not there? So that is my first little exercise for you now. So Belen, have you got an idea of what your unique selling point is?
Well, I have to say, I've been working in some of those things.
Yeah, good.
So one of them is that I'm very positive. So that's something that I guess for me is natural, but I guess it's not for everybody. And sometimes when if something is natural for you, you think that everybody is like you. But then when you start paying more attention, not everybody is the same. So I was listening to a Tony Robbins thing,
Yeah.
video that he was talking about how entrepreneurs are very positive, because if they were like not that positive, they probably will not try and try and try and try different things.
I know. So actually my husband sometimes calls me an unrealistic optimist.
Exactly.
And my husband is quite often much more pessimistic to my optimist.
Or realistic. It doesn't have to be in a negative way.
Yeah, no, it's quite funny. So I'm an optimist and my husband, it tends to be more of a pessimist. So we decided that actually optimists sometimes get disappointed more often than pessimists, because pessimists think it's going to be bad and then it's good. And then they go, I'm pleasantly surprised. So they have more pleasant surprises and we have more, no, it wasn't as good as I thought.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I've got the positivity bug as well. I think I'm an optimist, and you're absolutely right. If you weren't optimistic, you would never start a business.
Yeah,
And in fact,
because
if
then
I knew
you'll be more
then,
realistic, and then you'll be like, why try it?
and I think if I knew then what I know now, would I have started my business? Ooh, well, I probably would have. In a way, it was quite good that I didn't really know what was coming at me.
Totally.
I mean, I never, ever, ever would have thought that I would have written a book, because it's a short book. I won an award, the Short Business Book of the Year in the UK. But look, it hasn't got many words in it, so it's very, very quick read. And I'm going to run a competition for you to win it in a moment.
Yeah,
but
that's great. I'm excited.
I didn't realise this, and when I was at the BBC sitting in that panel interview, I didn't realise what my USP was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realise, I'm actually not good at lots of things. I'm not very good at spelling, for example. I don't know how I wrote a book. I didn't think I was good at writing. But what I am good at, and I only found this out quite a few years later,
Mm-hmm.
and my old boss even said it to me when I went for a coffee with him, and I was thinking, 10 years after I worked for you, why are you telling me that? He said, when you left, we really missed you because you were the ideas person. You're the ideas person. So, for example, sitting in that panel interview, if I'd walked in that room thinking, okay, so this is what I'm offering. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit scatty. Some people think I'm a little bit nuts, tiny bit mad. Box of frogs. I've been called a fruitcake. I've written it in the book. All these names that people have called me: bonkers, strange, eccentric sometimes. But the thing that I really I know I've got this. I can come up with ideas really quickly, really quickly. So as a live producer, that's what you need. You need somebody who's live, and right every moment you need to make decisions, come up with that, put that line 2, da, say this, do that, clap your hands, literally you're making it up, ding, ding, ding. My mind can make up ideas. But sometimes an ideas person doesn't fit in. Sometimes an ideas person is annoying. I can be so annoying. Sometimes an ideas person doesn't sit and concentrate for long periods of time, or sits and does the paperwork and thinks things through in a very logical order. Sometimes I lack detail. Sometimes I can lack logical orders and good plans and the sensible thing to do. and sometimes it really haunts me because I just wish that I could just get things done
But
and
it's
be
very
very
good.
organized.
Yeah, it's very good. Like that's what you were saying. Like that's the first step. Know what you're good at.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
way you can realize, well, maybe I can hire somebody to do the other things I'm not that good at, or that it
yeah.
takes me longer, or things like that. So you can start realizing where you can do a better job or things like that.
Absolutely. So my next little bit of homework for you, then I'm gonna let you take away a little bit of homework. So knowing your USP, and it's a really good idea to go and interview your loved ones and interview your colleagues and interview people that you trust around you. Go with your little notepad and actually do a little interview about yourself. Like, what do you think my USP is? What do you
Mm-hmm.
think I'm terrible at? What do you think I'm good at? What do you think is the best, really weirdest thing about me? And go and find, really look into that, because that is something that will be with you for life. Your
Yeah.
life story is your toolkit. Your life and all of your experiences is your toolkit. So my other little bit of homework that I'm going to set for you now before we do the competition is, have you got a story that illustrates your USP? What story? Just one story. And don't worry, don't freak out. I've got to tell a story. Oh my God, under pressure. Okay. I've got such a simple little tool for you to be able to tell a story. So Belen, I'm going to get you to do it
Oh,
right now. Okay. No, it's going to be, it's easy. It's easy peasy. It's easy.
tell me.
So Belen, you said, I'm really positive. So I'm going to ask you to tell me a little story. When I say story, just an example of why you're positive. But all you've got to do is start the sentence like this. I remember one time when ... And
Okay.
it doesn't have to be the best story of your life. It's just one thing. Maybe you were a child. Maybe it was last week. Maybe it was this morning before you even got on this Zoom call. I
Perfect.
remember one time when ... So tell me, just pick one little memory that illustrates your positivity. Go.
See, go. So I remember one time when I moved to United States for the first time without a house or knowing anybody. I went to a hostel to live there while I was figuring out my living situation or my rent. And I couldn't figure out anything. I couldn't find any place to live. So I was very positive because I was thinking, I wasn't like, oh, I should go back home. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna figure out this thing. So I spent every day researching in like all kind of like apartments or things until the last day that they told me at the hostel I couldn't sleep there tonight. So that day I found a place. But during that whole process, I was like, I got this. It's okay. Like, it's another day. I have to look for it.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Well done, you. I mean, the thing about you is you clearly got drive, ambition, and you've got self-belief. You've got enough belief to know that you will make it work. You're that. So, and in a way, that's my kind of core value, if you like. That's your core value and your USP.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, your USP is that you have got the vision and the goal setting um, aptitude and ambition to go, I'm going for that. Whatever happens, I'm going to reach it. I'm going to get that goal. And I think in a way, because my background's, theatre and live shows in broadcasting and at the BBC, maybe my core value and USP is probably a bit of the show must go on.
So
Whatever
much
happens, the
fun.
show must go on. The show must go. It's almost like nothing will stop me. Nothing will stop me. And but you need to have a purpose in your life to get to that next point. And if you don't have that purpose, maybe that's when you start not feeling yourself.
Uh-huh.
Is,
Yeah.
is that how you feel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bet you it was a long, hard walk up the mountain to get your E-volve show up and running. That must have been quite a big
Yes.
ambition, right? And I bet you've put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, it was like, it's been a whole process for sure.
Okay, so I think it's time to run the competition. So here's
Competition.
here's the Yeah, because I'm offering a competition today. So I have an online program. It's called How to Get Your Dream Promotion. It's in 9 bite-sized chunks, and you just go online, you click on it, and you have these videos, or you download these videos. They're quite short, probably 7 minutes each or 8 minutes each. And you can do it in all in one go, or you can do it like 1 chunk a day or 2 a day. And it also has an interactive worksheet as well. So it's like a book that you can work through. You can either print it out or do it on your screen. I'm also going to give you my book, and you're going to get a signed copy to go with your dream promotion. All you've got to do to win this, it's worth £154. So in dollars, I think that's about $170. I think it's worth. So yeah, it's worth nearly $200. There you go. It's £154. If you want to win one of these, all you've got to do is email me, and this is my email. This is actually my on-air sign for my children to be quiet. So if you hear any noises in the background, it's because I haven't put my sign up. So if you want to email me, it's Esther@estherstanhope.com. Esther is ESTHER @estherstanhope.com. And if you write tips, please, I will send you my Friday tips. And I have tips for how to look good on camera, how to look good in an interview, how to sound good, how to craft a message, how to tell a story. Loads of tips like that. Yes, every Friday I send out tips and different things that you can do, different initiatives like Bellen's fantastic event that she's putting on about how to build your self-confidence. I've got loads of confidence tips as well. So if you email me tips, please, Esther@estherstanhope.com. If you're watching this now, every Friday, I pick a winner. I pick a winner every Friday. So please, if you don't win on Friday, fingers crossed, you're going to be in my virtual hat to win the Friday after. I always pick a winner on a Friday. And actually, on the first Friday, I'm going to give away the first 2 Fridays during the E-volve show. I'm going to be giving away, so I'm going to give away 3 prizes altogether during the 21 days of the E-volve show. Nice. So put your name in the virtual hat. I'm going to give away a winner 3 Fridays. That's a good deal, right? And it's worth $170 for the online program and the book. Esther@estherstanhope.com. So good luck. Fingers crossed. I'll be getting your name out on a Friday. 3 winners, 1 on each Friday.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Esther.
Well, thank you so much, Bellen, for having me, and good luck with the show. It looks amazing, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from some of your well-being experts, and I'm the body language expert. Barbara, the body language expert. It sounds really interesting. I'm really looking forward to hearing their interviews.
For that one too. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, well, and good morning to you. Good morning and good night to me. It's good night from me, and it's good morning from Bellen.
There we go. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.